PSU time.
No, I worked President's Day, so now I get another month. All right, let's get rid of the funk, ladies and gentlemen. 770-226-0920 outside of Atlanta, 888-920-2665. A lot of people are pretty fired up. Cobb calendar switch incites parent protest. The Trevino family, the reason we're so upset is because, well, it's such a shock. The calendar was supposed to be for 3 years. Cobb County switched to a so-called balanced calendar this year. After the school board narrowly approved it in 2009, the district was supposed to try it for 3 years to determine if there was an academic or cost benefit, if there was. But Thursday, the board made up of 3 new members who actually said they were going to do this if they got elected, so this shouldn't be a shock, reversed that decision and adopted a traditional calendar where classes start August 15th. Now, the Trevinos are ticked because they have a vacation booked in September when, under the old calendar, they would have been off, and they're going to Universal Studios, and now the kids are going to have to take time off. So I can see how people are ticked off. Well, I get this email from Sean Beavers, and Sean joins us now. Sean, welcome to Denny Radio.
Hey, how you doing?
So I get the email, and you're obviously a parent is fired up about this deal. And first off, what made you email me?
Well, I've heard you sit in during the day on a couple of shows. I listen to 920 a lot, so.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, I listen to a lot of the radio shows, but they're all syndicated, and you're the only one that I knew of that was actually local that could actually.
Oh, I'm like the only game in town. You think I'd have more people listening? Imagine that. All right, so but we're growing. Yes, we are. And so you're not too happy about this either. You wanted them to stick with the original plan for 3 years.
Yeah, well, that, and I think the thing that's most confusing, and again, I preface this by I only have the information that's available to us that they've given to us, not what they used to make their decision. 2 weeks or a week before they took the vote, they sent out a survey. Scott Sweeney, Republican new board member,
right,
who has his campaign manager was also part of this Georgians for Summer movement that was saying they're going to get rid of it and everything. He said, well, let's bring it up for a vote and we'll have a survey go out. So he sent the survey out. The last day is the 17th. 17th is the last day before we all go on this break because we're on the balanced schedule this year. And they vote just opposite of what the survey says. So
survey says people like starting August 1st.
Right.
The survey says they like the extended year because studies have shown it's better for the kids.
Right. And, well, I think that a lot of you can find enough studies on either side, but it's pretty much neutral. But I think the biggest issue is that the teachers want it. Teachers are getting burned out. You have a burned out teacher, whether the kid's receptive or not, it's going to be very tough for that child to be able to learn anything from somebody who's not willing to teach. And
that's not union teachers you're talking about, right?
Because no comment on that. I don't know.
Always, ready to go every day. So what I want to know is which one of these school board members got paid off by Six Flags?
Well, yeah, that's they did an investigation, but they found nothing.
Allegedly, that apparently Six Flags is not happy that the kids in Cobb are going to school 2 weeks and they're going to lose 2 weeks of that revenue.
Well, and that's the thing is they talk about losing 2 weeks and how difficult it is and parents having to rearrange. But I'm a parent, and 2 weeks is 2 weeks. Whether it's in the summer, whether it's in the winter, whether it's anywhere, you have to arrange for childcare. So unless you're actually a teacher, you work in the school system, putting those 2 weeks anywhere in the year is going to take some time to actually have to rearrange. So I don't know anybody else that's off all summer except for teachers.
770-226-0920 outside of Atlanta, 888-920-2665. Well, there's a lot of folks that are off all summer, well, at least for 99 weeks, so they don't have to look for a job. All right, so is it really seriously people are really thinking that the Six Flags had something to do with this, that somebody was involved with this and said, look, those 2 weeks, our revenues are way down because apparently, Cobb County butts right up there against Six Flags, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it was.
What's going on?
It was Kathleen Angelucci. She didn't. I don't know. She made a comment.
Allegedly.
I don't know whether she's involved or not, but her comment was basically they will lose revenue. So
that's not the school board's responsibility.
Right. Exactly.
The school board, in case they didn't know and they're listening right now, here's your responsibility. Your responsibility is to educate the kids and put together a calendar that best supports that. In case nobody ever told them that. That's what they're supposed to do.
Right, and their comments about the budget kind of fall on deaf ears, too, when you have one of their own colleagues saying that we did this for 1 year, and we've saved $614,000 Our absenteeism with students is 50% lower than the prior year. We have 8,700 less days that teachers are gone, which doesn't cost us as much money. But yet, I don't understand why they're concerned about other parts of the Georgia state economy.
So this was with the first year of the August 1st start, or
Correct.
the earlier start.
Yep.
So that sounds pretty positive to me. Here's one question I have, and you may not know the answer, but I'm going to ask that. I would think, though, starting in August with that extra 2 weeks before, some of the other school systems, that extra 2 weeks, man, that's the dog days of summers. I would think that the energy costs to cool those buildings would be astronomical. I would think that would be unbelievably expensive as opposed to heating it in the winter. I would think AC is more expensive.
Well, based on, David Banks, he states that it's easier to cool a big building like that than it is to heat it. That's what he says. But the reality is really, we don't know. So that's why it's a 3-year plan. 3-year plan, let's see what we save, let's try it and see how it goes. There wasn't anything necessarily negative that came out of this year, but yet they changed it. And, someone like Kathleen Angelucci, she said, well, I ran on that platform, no one should be quote-unquote surprised, but she ran uncontested.
Oh.
So, she ran in the primary against another Republican, but when it comes up to it in the election, she didn't run against anybody. So whether her platform was, I like to paint curbs or I want to do this, it didn't really matter. Non-vote is still a vote for her. So that's kind of a non-argument.
So why are you against it? How does this, let me answer that better.
Okay.
How does this impact the Beavers family by going back to the April 15th start? And they're going to do that this fall, correct?
Correct. Okay. Well, I have 2 weeks to the end of the summer now that I have to figure out what I'm going to do. I have planned out my entire year, and it's not about vacation. They throw that up very readily saying, hey, well, these are just people that have vacations. They want to go on vacation. Well, that's not really the point. The point is I had 2 weeks that I had planned for that they would be in school, and now I don't know what to do. It's going to cost me more money to be able to figure out how to do care. And so we're going into this school year.
But wouldn't you have to do care because they're going to be off, if it was the old, or the way it is now, they'd be off, I think it was a week in September, and then there's some other odd weeks that are, so what do you do then?
Well, the reason I'm talking to you today is because I was off work this week. I'm off a week in September already. Now they've added on 2 weeks. So I have to be able to arrange my whole year. I pick all my calendar days at the beginning of the year with my colleagues.
Have you ever thought about homeschool?
Yeah, this week I have.
So what are you guys going to do, Sean? I know there's a lot of parents out there that are upset about this, and there's a lot of people like, whatever. So what